Hey there, Jim Johnson for accenthelp.com. And I had a question from somebody about a previous video that's a little bit anal retentive about how we deal with R's and how we can note those with the IPA. So what I did is I talked about taking an R perhaps and rounding it more. So that's a diacritic for additional lip rounding. And a person asked me, well, could I write that R instead with a little W here? And yeah, I think that makes about the same difference. This means labialized. Now, this could mean that the R is only about the lips or primarily about the lips. So I kind of prefer this one because this suggests, to me at least, that it's a little bit more of a simultaneous action. Which is what Americans tend to do. We tend to round our R's a little bit. Red, ready, breathe, try. We oftentimes round our R's even when they're after a vowel, which makes our ah sound get a little bit rounded, for example. Far. We don't tend to say father, far. We tend to say far because we're prepping for that rounded R, so it starts to affect the vowel before it. R becoming almost R because we're doing a little bit of lip rounding for both. Now, you could do the labialized, meaning your lips are getting engaged in it, but I'm worried that might make it almost seem more about the lips. But maybe that's just my bias, because one of the defaults that people do need to realize is that the IPA is a tool, and there are certain things that people have agreed on, but it's a tool. It's better if you pound in a nail with a hammer than with a crescent wrench, but sometimes there's not a hammer available, and doggone it, there's that crescent wrench, and it works. It can pound in a nail sometimes. I've done it, right? So you can use the tool of the IPA as the way that you see fit, as long as it doesn't get way out there. That's going to make it harder for you to communicate with other people. But if you keep it reasonable, it's probably communicable, like a disease with other people. But really, if you're doing this for yourself, it's most important that it makes sense to you to make those notes. So you do you. That's what I really want to say. You do you. Those are my sad little justifications and attempts at answering that, but I hope it helps. If you want to learn about learning accents, you can check out my website at accenthelp.com.